Do you trust yourself? No, like really. What is self-trust? Why is it so important? How did you develop self-distrust? And how to rewire your brain to trust yourself again, for your nervous system to know that it can rely on yourself, that you've got it. You're very welcome in Sanance Universe. If you're in this video, you probably noticed that you need to work on this topic of self-trust. Because imagine living with your worst enemy 24/7 for the entirety of your life. Do you really want to be that person for yourself? Now let's discover what self-trust is. Let's start with the definitions. Self-trust is the confidence and belief in your own abilities and judgments. It's the knowing that you can rely on yourself no matter what, even in the darkest time, even in the rainiest of days, that you've got your back, that you will not give up on yourself, on your health, on your priorities, on your values, on your life, on your goals, on your dreams, on yourself. To trust yourself means that you are your best friend, you are your parent, you are your child, you are your advocate, you are your partner in crime, you're all of the supporting figures at once. They're balanced, they're harmonized, they're all friends between each other. And within that multidimensional scope of a personality that you are, you know that at the end of the day, none of the different parts of you will fight and rage war, that they will find peace and find agreements between each other on how to keep yourself the happiest, the healthiest, the wealthiest, the most fulfilled possible. That is self-trust. Now that we know what self-trust is, how did you come to the point of not developing it properly or losing it somewhere along the way? Yes, a lot of the roots stem from childhood. In your childhood, while growing up, if your nervous system has been hijacked to not trust yourself for years, then there is a neuronal pathway that has formed that causes you to constantly doubt yourself, to not believe yourself, to not trust yourself, to jeopardize all of your projects, ideas, emotions, actions. You feel like you cannot trust what you feel. You cannot trust your promises that, yes, I'm going to go and get that project, get that job, get that ability. You feel like, no, I can't trust myself. I can't achieve that. I can't trust myself to drive a car, to cook a meal, apply for that job, to know what's right for me, to know which pathway to choose in life. If while growing up you have been told that others know better, parents know better, teachers know better, government knows better, society knows better, trends know better, and you have no idea, no knowledge, you're small, you're incapable, you cannot make the decisions for yourself, you don't know what's best for you. If you took those words that have been said to you internalize them as your thoughts, as your internal dialogue towards yourself now. You keep repeating that to yourself now when you're a grown-up. So this neuronal pathway that I'm talking about is just a habit. It's basically an imprint on your brain that tells you to constantly doubt yourself. Good news, we can rewrite that. We can erase it. We can change it into a new pathway that says, yes, I've got my back. Yes, I'm capable. Yes, I trust myself. Yes, I know what's right for me. I am acting in my best interests at all times. And look, our nervous system is trying to keep us safe. If the information that you received in childhood is that you cannot trust yourself, it's going to do exactly that. It's going to listen to every single other opinion on the whole planet and not yours, by thinking that it's keeping you safe that way. Because previously, when you expressed your emotions, when you did act on your internal feeling or your signals of the body, something bad happened. You were scolded by your parents or teachers, or something bad happened in the environment. So the negative belief has been formed. Oh, I can't trust myself. You can see that pattern play out in society in a very sad way right now. People don't trust the voice of themselves, their heart, and their soul to follow their own path in life, to know what's best for them, to choose a pathway that is not proclaimed by society, by what's right. You should go to that university. You should get that corporate 9-to-5 job. Then you should immediately start a family, get a car, get a loan, So then the person who developed self-distrust during childhood, they're listening to it. They're like, yeah, this is going to be a safe way. This is what everybody does. I have to do what everybody does, and then I'm going to be safe. I'm going to follow the path that has been outlined for me and hope that everything will be okay. Because if I go out of the crowd, If I don't follow it, if I become the black sheep, danger. And this is how it always have been in nature, evolutionary. If you are left behind the herd in your tribe, you're probably going to be killed by predators. So our monkey brain, our older, more animalistic parts of the brain, they're still thinking in that way. Oh, if we're not gonna follow the pack, we're gonna get killed. Good news, you are an independent adult, or soon will be, if you're watching this video, human being capable of your own decisions and judgments. And most importantly, you have your own knowing inside of you. You know exactly what you need. And if you feel like you don't hear that voice yet, this is exactly what this channel is about. So stick around. I basically combine neuroscience, psychology, and spirituality into one. This is my passion. If you're interested in something like this, please subscribe and keep watching. As we get into the most exciting part of the video, we get into the how, into the tips on how to develop self-trust. Now, the first tip is about the neuroscience of it all, the brain science of it all. Rewiring your brain. How? That self-distrust negative pathway that might have developed in your brain, and it looks individual in all the people. Neuroplasticity. Mhm. Just as I was about to tell you the tips and the neuroscience behind the self trust, the missiles hit in the sky somewhere near where I am. I'm currently back in Ukraine, filming it from my home. I'm back for a month. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to go out and live in Ireland, where I'm currently residing, and come back home to my family because of just that. It's my home. But there are so many people who have to live like this every single day. Children going to school, parents going to work, people giving birth, people marrying, people starting businesses, just living their normal lives. Millions of Ukrainians every single day in every single city have to endure being very afraid that this missile that luckily just flew by right now, or this drone, that is actually going to land on their home, on their head. They're living with this fear 24/7, every single day and night. And this is the current reality. And this is just a little glimpse, but yeah. So let's keep going. This is a small version of a near death experience, right? You can say a big version. Yeah. Um for a Ukrainian, this is okay. Like, I flew there. It's bad. Things are bad. The war is not over. I took a minute to speak about it because it happened, so I think it's very important to explain. And for me, this reminded me of kind of when all of the fear hit me in my brain and my system. I was like, okay, let's just speak as it is. Let's just be real. It's currently I'm learning. I'm starting to film these videos. It's very hard for me because I'm extremely self-critical. I'm perfectionist. I am noticing every single detail, how it's not where I want it to be. I want to just be able to speak like I am. Sometimes it feels like everything about me makes me want to bang my head against the wall. This is a little interlude. So, yeah, near death experiences remind me of being kinder to myself and being more self loving and more self forgiving. And this is exactly why I'm filming those types of videos right now on my channel. I used to be extremely worse when it comes to all things emotional regulation and self image. And now I feel like I'm finally stepping into the person who I want to be. Hi, we're back. So I've just spent like 15 minutes talking about all the self-trust tips and I was very happy, and then I checked on the video and the mic wasn't on. So yeah, things happen. I already have a video about the power of mistakes on my channel, so that's the one for me, and we're gonna keep going. And now finally, let's jump back into how to learn to trust yourself again. The first tip is to use the power of neuroplasticity. What is it? It's the ability of your brain to change itself, to rewire itself, to reprogram those negative beliefs of I don't trust myself, I'm not good enough, others know better than me, I can't trust the signals of my body and my emotions. To reprogram all of that mess, all of that garbage into the good, positive beliefs of I do trust myself, I have my back at all times, and I can rely on myself. I'm learning, I'm growing. So by introducing a positive self-talk, your brain is going to start to rewire the neural pathways that have been formed before will change and form new ones, new connections. That's how habits form. And that's why it takes 21 days to form a habit, because it takes time for your brain to literally physically reshape itself. And that's why self trust is a muscle. Once you have changed your self talk, tip number 2 is to follow through with your promises, with the promises that you give to yourself every single day. The crazy promises that make sense to you but make no sense to everyone else, those are just as important as the promise to clean your car, submit your taxes, and send that application. And good news is once you start to complete the promises to yourself, your nervous system will understand, I can rely on myself now. And your prefrontal cortex will understand that it feels good to trust yourself. Why? Because every single time you complete a task, there's dopamine released in your brain. Dopamine is a feel good neurotransmitter. You've done the action, the dopamine is released, you've kept the promise to yourself. Now your prefrontal cortex is associating self trust with dopamine, which is feeling good. The tip number 3 would be to acknowledge and own your own natural abilities. What does it mean? Very often in life, people follow the desires of others. They go to the job that they're actually very bad at and they hate just because it's socially acceptable, appropriate, and considered a success. So you have to follow and adhere your self-judgment towards your natural abilities. Because if you try to force yourself into the situations and tasks to which you don't have the natural affinity, of course you're going to end up not trusting yourself. Oh, I'm not able to perform it well. Yeah, because you're meant to be doing something else with your life. Allow your talents to shine through, and you will see that you can trust yourself to complete those tasks well, because they are your tasks. This is your calling. The tip number 4 on how to trust yourself is to know that your answer is the only right answer. Now, this is for everyone who loves to research and ask for advice endlessly before making a decision. Now, your parents, teachers, friends, society, social media, government, every single person will have their own opinion for how you should live your life. But only you can know, and only you can make that decision. You will never have enough information. You always have to work with the data that you have. Yes, you ask for advice, you listen to advice, but then you make your own decision. Once you do make it, you know it's yours. And when some time has passed, you look back on it and you're able to analyze and calculate. And how can I improve? How can I learn? How can I grow? How can I make my next decision even better? And to know what's right for you, you gotta listen to your feelings. And that's the tip number 5. You have to connect with your body. You have to connect with your feelings. If in your childhood you have learned to dismiss your feelings, to not trust them, then in adulthood, you will not know what you like, what you want, and where is your path. You might have learned to dismiss your feelings because previously you tried to express them and then something bad happened. You received judgment from others, then you made the decision that emotions are bad, I cannot trust them, and I'm not gonna ever listen to them again. And now you have to see this pattern in yourself and change it, because emotions are valid, they're important, you have to listen to them, the negative and the positive, live them out healthily. I want to make a series of videos on this channel just about emotions and how to healthily live them out. Let me know if you're interested in that. Once you've connected to your emotions, you start to get to know yourself better, who I am, what I like, which pathway to choose, which decision to make. And the biggest helper in trusting yourself and making the right decision will be your intuition. And that is our tip number 6, is to connect with your intuition, listen to your intuition, develop your intuition. How? Once you've connected to your emotions, even deeper than that, at the core, true, higher part of you, you will find your intuition. The part of you that knows where are you going, where are you going from, who you are, what you want, what is your mission on this planet, if you will. The part of you that knows the direction and knows why certain things happen in your life the way they do. And you know it. Stay tuned for the intuition video. I'm so excited. There's so much content that I want to share. How do I put myself in this box and translate? Tip number 7. Celebrate your wins. Big and small and medium. Every single step of the way. Yay, I have done the laundry. Yay, I've watered my plants. Yay, I've got my bachelor's degree. Big and small. Celebrate them. Throw a party. Go crazy. Dance it out. When I accomplished a task that felt hard and that I cannot approach it for a long time, even though it only took me an hour. After I did it, I go and dance. I turn on a song that I really love, and just for the whole song, just for 3 minutes as a break, to recharge the brain and the body and stretch a bit, I celebrate it. I dance to celebrate the fact that I completed this exact task. So now I can move on to the next, feeling like the champion, like I'm on top of the world, and I can move mountains and I will. I really recommend trying that. Now, please remember, self-trust is not about perfection, just as nothing is. Perfection doesn't exist. It's not real. It's fake. It's dead. And I have a video on my channel about perfectionism. Self-trust means that you're your own best friend. You're always there for yourself. Develop inner safety. You're safe with yourself, no matter what happens. Even if we lose our home, our job, our family, money, anything, as long as we're still alive, that I am my best friend. That I'm going to stand up for myself, for my needs, for my values, for my voice. I'm going to move forward with integrity. I have a choice. I have power to move forward. The way I feel is correct to me. The way I feel is the most helpful, abundant, and expansive for me. I can forge my own path, even if it never has been lived before and I don't see examples of it anywhere. And I don't see anyone living like that. Be the change you want to see in the world. Create your own path. Knowing what's right for you comes from self-trust. Being the creator of your dreams, of your reality, starts with self-trust, and they go hand in hand with self-love and self-confidence. It takes time to build self-trust, and from the bottom of my heart, please remember that you are a wonderful, capable human being. You're doing way better than you think you are, and there's nothing wrong with you. You're beautiful just as you are, and you have a whole universe rooting just for you. You can connect to it, you can talk to it, and you can feel safe and supported in it every moment. And if at any point you feel like you need a reminder of that, you're very welcome in Santa's universe. If you found the information in this video useful, please send it to someone who is learning to trust themselves, and write one thing in the comments that you ended up being right about when everyone else thought that you're wrong. And don't forget to subscribe. Intersection of neuroscience, spirituality, and psychology. And most importantly, heartfelt messages from my universe to yours.